Welcome to Partner Solution Bites. I am Gerardo, and I'm joined today by Josh from Versent. Welcome, Josh.
Thank you for having me.
So, Josh, Versent brings a wealth of experience in cloud migration. What are you seeing these days customers doing in their cloud adoption journey?
So we're still seeing a lot of customers migrate to the cloud, but what we're really seeing is customers actually take the modernization journey and really focusing in on moving the workloads to container-based workloads as well as serverless workloads.
Why do you think that is happening? What sort of benefits are they getting out of the modernization piece?
So the benefits that they get from modernizing, really sort of taking a lens into container-based workloads or serverless, really brings out the cost efficiency as well as the speed to market that they would traditionally not get with using a lift and shift approach.
Okay, that makes sense. And what sort of challenges are you seeing they're having when they're trying to make that transition and start to modernize some of their workloads?
So really, customers, what we're finding is it's not just a technology challenge that they have, it's really based on a process change as well as a people change significantly. So really the challenge that they have is technology, people, and process, and really how they can make all of those three things harmonize to really get the benefits of modernizing their workloads.
I agree. As much as engineers like me get excited with the services, you need to bring the business on board and make true transformational change throughout the organization. So tell me, how are you helping customers in getting this done?
So we have an offering called the Yellow Brick Road, which was a term formed by one of our founders, James Coxon, 5 years ago, which really provides the golden path to AWS. And with that, it's a process that takes customers on the journey of understanding the technology, process, and people changes required to modernize their workloads in AWS.
Great. So it sounds like an assessment offering where you discover what's in their workloads, and then you give them some advice. So what happens after the discovery? What do they get out of the Yellow Brick Road offering from Versent?
So with the discovery, we actually deploy tooling. We've got a partnership with Flexera to deploy the actual tool within their data center. That visualizes the workloads that are currently hosted in the data center. What the customer gets out of that is a business case, an actual report of exactly what it will take to move to AWS, and really exactly the plan that they need to put in place to make sure that it's a success when they actually implement their migration to the cloud.
Okay, so when you deploy the Flexera tool, what sort of things do you discover? Why is it important to get all this information, and what impact does it have in the migration itself?
Well, when migrating workloads, you've really got to understand the interdependencies that are held within those workloads. That really sort of drives what complexity, so it drives out what we call migration plan, so understanding exactly when things can move. Ultimately, there is inherent legacy within data centers, so you really want to make sure you understand all of that. It almost gives you a map of all of the workloads within a data center. And without that map, it's almost impossible to move workloads into the cloud. So ultimately, with that, it's a powerful tool to assist and make the migration a lot smoother.
That makes sense. So it's about minimizing the risk. The more you know about the workloads, the easier the migration. So let's say that a customer wants to do this. So how long does it take, the entire process?
So it takes 6 weeks. The tool itself we run for 4 weeks to get across the entire month all of the interactions that can happen. And the other 2 weeks we provide the report as well as the business case to really make a full picture and provide the customers exactly what they need to move to AWS.
Excellent. Can you give me an example of a customer that you've done this with?
So we recently worked with Boral. They had a data center which they wanted to move out of, containing 250 workloads. We deployed Flexera to get that full map, really providing an understanding. They found out there was workloads that actually they didn't know about, as well as also knowing about workloads that previously people actually knew about in terms of having some IP around, but they no longer had. So that tool actually allowed for them to discover exactly what those workloads did and which other workloads they interacted with. And ultimately, that provided them with a business case as well as a strategy to move to AWS.
And did they act on that report?
They certainly did. So they acted with that report. They've partnered with Versent to migrate their workloads into AWS, and that went for a 12-month period, and we moved 250 workloads into AWS.
That's not bad. In less than a year, you moved all the workloads out. That's great. So what can customers do with this report? Do they always have to use Versent for the migration, or can they do it themselves?
They can absolutely do it themselves. We provide them with that roadmap, the challenges that they will also face, also the people in terms of the skills that they need in terms of to execute that plan. But they ultimately can also bring us involved to provide our specialist skills to help them migrate. And it really, for them, I think they really like an insurance policy, having a partner involved so that they have the skills involved, that someone actually has done this before. So they're not doing this just for the first time. They've got a partner that's actually done this repeated times before with other customers, so that they can make sure it's a success and it's a smooth transition to the cloud.
Josh, thank you so much for sharing the amazing work you're doing with customers and helping them go through that migration journey.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for watching Partner Solution Bites. If you want to know more about Versent's Yellow Brick Road with Flexera, follow the link in the description. See you next time.